Hello, 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 and welcome to Wellness Weekend. I am your host, Shareta, and I just want to welcome you to Holistic Talk. And on today, we're going to take a listen to something pertaining to wellness. On today, I'm going to pull it up for you guys so that you can take a listen to some very, very important, let's see, information in pertaining to wellness. Now, this is dealing with fiber and water. And this is something that I want you all to pay close attention to. This is from a
Hey
previous
guys,
recorded
I have a
podcast that
question.
I've done a
Have you
couple of
ever
weeks
thought about
ago.
starting your own podcast? Just think about it for a minute. A podcast. Your voice being heard all around the world. Well, let me explain something to you just for a second. When I was trying to get my podcast off the ground, I had so many questions. I mean, on questions, on top of questions, on top of questions, such as how do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen to? And another question was, well, how can I make money from my podcast? I mean, that was some of the questions. And I mean, the answer was so simple, very simple, and so right there in front of me, Anchor. And I was like, that's right. Hey guys, Anchor is a one stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, guys, it's 100% free. Isn't that ridiculously insane and easy to use? And when I say easy to use, so easy to use. And when Anchor, my gosh, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise your podcast. That means you get paid to podcast. That's right, you get paid to podcast. That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, let me tell you, Anchor is so simple, and I found it, and so have you. So if you're always wanting to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start. Join me and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to today's podcast. I'm your podcast host, Shareta of Holistic Talk, and welcome on today. This podcast is for educational purposes only, not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent sicknesses, illnesses, or disease, or mental health issues. If you're making any lifestyle changes to your health and wellness routine, please consult with your medical doctor first. Once again, this podcast is for educational purposes only, not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent sicknesses, illnesses, or disease, or mental health issues. If you're making any lifestyle changes to your health and wellness routine for yourself or your family, please consult with your medical doctor first.
So, what we're going to be listening to is a podcast that I've done previously a week ago entitled Fiber and Water.
And today we're going to talk about fiber and water. Fiber and water, which is option 4. When it comes to how our fiber intake and water intake helps to promote defecation, which will prevent us from having issues such as constipation. Fiber is a direct result of cellulose, which is found in plants. Thus, is this helps in our diet, which promotes species through our colon. When it comes to the intake of water, it serves as a lubrication in our colon, which helps push feces to our bowel area. For example, Brenda's diet will consist of her eating foods that are high in fiber, which may be oats, beans, barley, apples, peas, and certain citrus fruits, wheat bread, to name a few. Along with her fiber intake, she drinks a full glass of water, along with meals and or during the day to help in the area of preventing her from becoming constipation. Also, there are certain fiber bars that can incorporate into her diet also. Charles AA and John RM 2015. Fiber-rich foods have a insoluble fiber that vary in proportion. Our body cannot digest fiber, but we can eat foods that are rich in fiber. It's healthy and it increases the size of the stools and makes them softer. When we are constipated, our stools are hard. Thus, we drink the water to help lubricate our colon, to help stool pass through faster and become soft, as I mentioned before. Drinking water helps our bowels to become regular. Kidneys don't have to work hard to clean our blood. We do not feel less fatigue and helps our overall health and well-being. The SH 2014. Today, we just read about fiber and water, which I chose for option 4 when I was doing a study for Brenda on the different foods that she ate when it comes to fiber and dealing with constipation and passing out bowels. Once again, this podcast is for educational purposes only, not intended to treat, curb, diagnose, or prevent sicknesses, illnesses, or disease, or mental health issues. If you're making any lifestyle changes for your health and wellness routine, for yourself and your family, please consult your medical doctor first. If you have any comments or questions pertaining to any of the podcasts that was recorded here on Anchor or Spotify or all your podcast platforms, please email me, Coach Shareta at Outlook.com. That's Coach Shareta at Outlook.com.
So there you have it, the podcast entitled Fiber and Water. You can find this podcast on Anchor. You can also, if you have Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, you can look up Holistic Talk Podcast. It's on Amazon. Holistic Talk Podcast is on Amazon, and you can go and listen to not only this podcast that I presented to you on today entitled Fiber and Water, but all the podcasts that I've done on complementary alternative medicine and our recent podcast that I've done on yesterday for women only. Dealing with vaginal pH balance levels. And once again, I am Shareta. Thank you for tuning in on today. And don't forget, look up the podcast on Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, entitled Holistic Talk Podcast.